We on. Let's do it. All right, what's going on, people? We got another video. Okay. So this time I'm going to be talking about the New Age. Okay, the New Age. But right before I get into it, there's a gentleman who goes by the name of Brother Panic. Yeah. That nigga's the truth. You know what I'm saying? So he said something very interesting about the New Age. And pretty much what he said was, how do you call this movement a New Age using old information? Right? So that to me was, whoa, whoa. However, what I'm going to be doing here, I just wanted you to think about this for a minute because I think it was brilliant what he said, and he kind of pretty much went on trying to say that, or not trying to say, but I remember he was saying pretty much if they're using old information and calling this New Age, so therefore it is an agenda. If that makes any sense, right? However, the part that I want to talk about, it's but I just wanted you to think about this because I felt like that was very valuable information, because it's kind of like giving you it's pretty much giving you a set of new eyes or fresh eyes for you to kind of like, oh, okay, so what's really going on here? So, but being myself, I delved into it a little bit more as far as my understanding and things of that sort. And that's pretty much what I'm going to be talking about here. So, the New Age, to me, it's totally fake. Fake, and it's also what Jesus called in the Bible. Okay, now let me start off with this, because I did mention this is what Jesus said in the Bible. This is not one of those I went from the New Age and go to Jesus and shit. That's not what this is about. I had to clarify that shit. In fact, last night I was watching so many different videos on that shit, man. It was just crazy to me. Crazy, crazy. However, the one thing I will mention though, and especially for my conscious people or the people that are on this path. So you want to be careful not to replace one demon with another demon, right? But what I'm saying by this is, well, shit, the Jesus story is you to begin with. So, I mean, I do understand how the Bible was being used to somehow, um, what's the word I'm looking for here? Like the Bible was pretty much used in a way to strip you from your spirituality, right? Because now it made it something intellectual, it made it something physical, so therefore there's no spirit in it. I get that. But what I'm trying to say is be careful because you don't want to, there's a lot of gems in the Bible, man. A lot of gems. Now, the only thing is you have to be spiritual for you to understand it. So, for lack of better terms, when I say, like, this is what Jesus said in the Bible, nigga, slow down. We good. We saved, nigga. We've been saved way before that. So, and even the term being saved, what the fuck does that mean? It simply means that you pretty much awake. You know what the fuck is going on, right? So, but when I'm also saying this to say, do not try because I realized I went through it myself. So you kind of went from one extremity to another extremity. You went from being into the Bible to like, nigga, fuck the Bible. And in actuality, it was never intended for you to either fuck or go with the Bible. It was just meant for you to get the gem out of it. And that's it. You see what I'm saying? So make sure you're not replacing one demon by another demon. That's very important because it's because essentially everything is pretty much tools. And the Jesus story, like I was saying, is your story. You see what I'm saying? But on top of it too, like that shit don't even make sense if you're looking at it on a physical plane. Like physically, it doesn't make any sense. Now, okay, let me take this example, right? Niggas all talking about, Now, people aren't really talking about this, but I guess it's like when they look at, let's just say, medicine or, I mean, hospitality. I mean, and I'm referring to the name. I mean, and I'm referring to the term as hospital, right? So you're looking at epidurals, all type of different, like the machine that all of these Western hospitals are using, but people were giving birth before none of that shit. Do you see what I'm saying? So I'm saying this to say, like, before there was a Jesus, people was living. You know what I'm saying? So before all of that shit, people was doing well. So it ain't like, but anyway, the point of what I was trying to make here, people were giving birth, people was doing all that shit, and I've even seen this African shit on YouTube where motherfuckers were doing what do you call that? They were doing a head surgery. You know what I'm saying? Nothing was sanitized. Or maybe it was, but not the way you motherfuckers are looking at it now, or maybe not the product that that you're using to sanitize shit. So all of this shit was being done way before then. And even if you want to talk about the Bible, like, I mean, I'm not too good. I mean, I didn't, because I really didn't give a fuck. Like, because even in my Bible journey was, when I understand the shit was bullshit. But now the only difference is the way you look at it. So you kind of go, but if you're in your journey, it's fine. Fuck it for now. And then, but when you do go back not in the sense of going back, in the sense of following it or giving up what you were learning, because if you did, you never learned anything in the first place. And that's pretty much what all of those, from the New Age to Jesus shit. And I'm sitting down learning, and I'm like, okay, let me see. Maybe there's something that you see that I didn't see. Because to me, you can't tell me about the Bible, motherfucker. You can't. You know what I'm saying? I mean, some people were, I don't want to say lucky, but I'm glad that I kind of went that path, because now, like I'm saying, you can't tell me about it, right? So, and niggas be talking about all that, demons and spirit, yet they talking about the Holy Ghost. So it's clearly a war. It's clearly sort of like a division. You know what I'm saying? Like, because the Jesus niggas are doing the same thing that what you call the other side is doing, right? They communicating with spirit. You have angels, right? What are they? So are you doing something that is totally different from what they're doing? And quite often, when they refer, when they're referring to being saved or all of that shit, it's all physical. They're implying negation. Like, I used to do this, I don't do that anymore. Okay. Yo, I swear to you, and I couldn't believe my fucking ear. This bitch was talking about how she was into New Age. And I digress for a minute, but I think that was necessary right before I get into what I'm going to be talking about. And to show you, too, why I said the New Age is fake. So, and she was saying, listen, the New Age encouraged her pretty much um, to believe in herself. But she said, as she was started believing in herself, she felt like other people was below her. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, that's how I was. You know what I'm saying? How do you make that connection? Because the whole purpose of you getting to know yourself, just like they say, and which is true, if you don't know yourself, you don't love yourself, you're not going to be able to love somebody else. That is facts. Well, plus tax, however you want to put it. You know what I'm saying? And what that means is, because you get to know yourself, you can be relatable to other people. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's the other way around. You know, you don't get to know yourself to belittle other people. If that's the case, what have you really learned from yourself? So a lot of this shit was just bullshit. And if you listen to everything that they said, man, yo, get some popcorn, because I was cracking up, and that was one thing, and there was some other bullshit I don't even fucking remember. That was just like, whoa, like, what new age are you talking? What information? What book were you even reading? Do you see what I'm saying? So what they do is they use a couple things, and then they're telling you, now my life changed. How did your life change? What did you learn more? I mean, that you didn't have before that changes your life. So none of them really talk about, like the journey I saw as the understanding. They talking about, oh my God, it was so satanic. It was demonic. And that was just it. And now I'm in Jesus. The typical Jesus shit. Right? But anyway, let's dive into the fucking new age. And I'm gonna tell you why I believe it's fake, right? Because now remember what I said in the very beginning. So they're using old information, as Brother Panic mentioned, to create a movement and sort of like trying to tell you this is a new way of looking at things. Now, when they talk about and the secret, I guess the secret could be considered as one of the pillars, or the main. I don't want to say the turning point, but it was a major shift. With the secret, there was a major shift into the law of attraction, right? Because technically that's what they talked about. But and even the law of attraction, right? That shit existed way before the secret. And it's not even called the law of attraction. Do you understand what I'm saying? So by them using that and everything they were saying didn't make sense. If you're into spirituality, and as you already know, and you should know by now, you will not attract everything that you want. I don't give a fuck. You not. You can only attract the things that you align with. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's not even, and when that happens, you don't even have to visualize it. You can. That's one of the tools. But think about this, right? Like whoever, like I know for me, some of the dumb bitches I was with, for lack of better terms, because I was dumb myself. But what I'm trying to say is, it's not like I wasn't sitting down trying to imagine to be with a dumb bitch. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I was sitting down like, you know what? Let me visualize a dumb bitch. I'm gonna be with a dumb bitch. No, I didn't even ask for it. I was on that frequency. Guess what? I attracted who I was. And even and you can tell that I was in the same, or you are too, on the same vibration as they were, because you couldn't see them as who they were. You know what I'm saying? Versus now, me not being on that frequency, if I were to approach, or any one of these were to approach me, I'm like, okay, I smelled that one before. You know what I'm saying? That's the elevation and me vibrating on a higher level. But the point of what I'm trying to say is, this is what the law of attraction or the secret is not telling you, and that's what makes it fake. Because they're using a couple of spiritual shit and sprinkling the bullshit. But at the end of the day, it's just bullshit, right? And they're sprinkling it, calling it a new movement. It is in so many ways, not because of what Brother Panic was saying, in the sense of they're using the old information, but the way they're turning it into something intellectual. Whereas the law of vibration, it's really, truly about you, right? Because think about this. Even if you can manifest anything that you want, but what does that say about you? Do you see what I'm saying? What does that say about you? So when you talk about spirituality and everything, Kemet, the Egyptians, or Buddha, or whatever the fuck, that is the path to the inner wisdom, because it's talking about you. So what the New Age is doing, they're using some of these knowledge, trying to embellish this shit and turn it into something physical. So now, anybody who ever talked about the law of attraction or the secret, it's all for material purposes. You see what I'm saying? So now it's all about a car. So now it's all about a house. Whereas that's not the point of it. So to get back to what I was saying before, it's not like I was imagining or I was visualizing to be with a dumb bitch, but it just happened only because I was on that frequency. So now as you raise your frequency or your vibration, and you raise your vibration by learning more, adding more light to yourself, experiences that also count, but the meaning of experiences, the whole purpose is that you attract something out of it, right? So there's a knowledge, there's an interaction. And that's part of also being wise too. You know, it's not just the knowledge, but your interaction and your personal bond with that knowledge, where it becomes actualized, right? And as you're doing so, you are attracting everything that you want. And like I was saying before, when I talk about that Jesus said, as Jesus said, seek for the kingdom of God first, and everything else will be given to you. So the kingdom of God, talking about you, the spirit that you are, right? Or spirituality, seek for what you don't see, and everything else, you know, will be given unto you. Just like when I wasn't looking for this dumb bitch, and then I got it because I was in that frequency. Well, once you change your frequency, you go enter, you do that inner work, you remove the inner obstacles, and guess what? Guess what, motherfuckers? You didn't even have to ask for it. Now, visualizing it, it's very powerful. I mean, it's powerful, 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 just like meditation. Because part of what you do is you're creating a flow of information or energy to come through you. You know, a lot of people talk about meditation, but don't really understand the purpose of meditation. I mean, of course, you may have an answer or question, then you meditate. But by meditating, what you're really doing is creating that flow of information to come to you. So now I say to you, meditate for no fucking reason. And even if you have a question, the fact that you may not get the answer right then and there, it'll come to you at a certain point. Or even if you're not, you know, you didn't ask for anything, you know, but since you have created that flow of energy, do you see what I'm saying? So you're going to be more in communication with the invisible. And you do that through your imagination or visualization. So do that shit. That shit, yes, it is powerful. But that's what you do. That's what you're doing when you do it. So it's important for you to understand what you're doing. But most importantly, just like anything else, to truly understand anything is to understand the psychological aspect of what that thing is. Do you see what I'm saying? Shit. I'm trying to use a fucking example here. That'll come to me. Whatever, it'll come to me. But to get back to what I was talking about, so we were talking about the Jesus shit. Do you see what I'm saying? And something else about the Bible too. You gotta look at it spiritually. If you're looking at it physically, you're not gonna get it. If you're going by the letters, that's what it meant by reading by the letters. You're confining what you're saying in just a little fucking, you know, like this is what it is. It's a person that was Jesus and all of that. But yet again, there's a lot of other shit that this same nigga's telling you too. I could do. Wait a minute. Didn't he say you can do what he does? But if that's the case, what does that make you? The fact that you had to accept them first is referring to that type of knowledge, that understanding, that consciousness. Once you accept it, anyway, I don't know why this is turning into this shit because You know, originally I'm talking about the New Age, but I think this is also very important because I'm going to be using some Bible references here, not implying that, you know, I'm into the Bible and none of that shit. Because one thing I notice about especially people who are just growing spiritually, you tend to you're replacing one God by another, or one demon by another demon. Whereas the purpose of you being spiritual is to transcend, is to be above all of that. And being above, not in a fucking arrogant way, but as well as understanding. And I'll give you another example. I said a lot of people struggle with that shit too. What is it? There was a parable that Jesus said about if somebody hits you on one, I don't know, I can't recall exactly how it went. So pretty much it went this: if somebody hits you on this cheek, you turn the other cheek. I see a lot of people struggle with that because they're looking at it on a physical level. Of course, like somebody smack, you're not going to turn around and do this. That's fucking stupid. But now, if you're saying this is stupid, like I said it is stupid, but what does it really mean? What it really means is like, it's pretty much essentially the same shit as life give you lemon, you make lemonade. The part of you making the lemonade, that's you turning the other cheek. Right? So it's kind of like when you go to a struggle, when you're going through a struggle, but you see the lesson in the struggle, how do you look at the struggle as a struggle? And this part is very important for a lot of my people who's going through the dark night of the soul, because I went through it and I had to understand that. How this could be a struggle if you're learning from it. You have to turn the other cheek. You know, it's a blessing in disguise. Turning the other cheek means changing your way of looking at it. Because when you become spiritual, you're changing the way of looking at it. Now the struggle is no longer a struggle because now you're seeing a lesson in your struggle. You're giving it a meaning. There's a meaning in your suffering. As they say, the light goes through the wounds. That's why it says, blessed are the persecuted. Because a motherfucker who's having a good dream down here, who's dreaming well, bitches, cars, and all that shit, you don't want to die. And even if there's something more than that, since you're having such a good dream, why the fuck would you want it? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, that's where money could be a downfall. But also, we all know, I'm not saying there's nothing, it's demonic and shit, because money can also open up your eyes too. What else? I'm fucking bitches. I do whatever the fuck I want. What else? So it goes on both sides. But as far as that go, as far as that phrase, as far as blessed or persecuted ones, you know what I'm saying? That's what this is referring to. And that's what I'm trying to say. I mean, there's no limitation. There's no one way of doing things. There's no one way of gaining light. Light comes in different form. It comes in different ways. In fact, that exactly, blessed are the persecuted. The light is in the darkness. It's just another way of saying the light is in the darkness. Go in the dark if you're looking for the light. In your struggle, that's when you come to see things better. That's when you turn the other cheek. So that's what this is saying. Okay? So don't become, you know what I'm saying? Because part of being spiritual, you use everything. And to keep it all the way 100 with you too, like the whole Jesus shit, it's your story. It's Nega's story. There was a book by Joe Massey, or Massey, whatever the fuck this nigga name is. Because he went into showing you how Jesus is Heru. Well, Horus. So I'm saying all of this to say, if you hear me refer to Jesus, nigga, I'm saved. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I've been saved, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I've been saved, nigga. And not referring to the actual bullshit that they were talking about, because it was never meant. Relax, man. Shit. God damn, hold on, wait a minute. I gotta make sure this is charging. Yeah, there you go. So, what the fuck was I talking about? So yeah, so if you see me referring to the Bible, and I would strongly advise you to, I mean, I'm not saying going back to the Bible, but you know what I'm saying, information is everywhere. Because now when you're being born again, which means, this is what people don't understand either. Now you're being born of spirit. So therefore you're looking at shit on a spiritual level. Guess what? Such and such just died. Well, if you're looking at it spiritually, energy never fucking doesn't die. And when you understand what death is, it's pretty much a transition. That's why we call it transitioning between this world and the other world. In other words, you can also say this is when spirit no longer want to be part of the form of the physical, or dissociate itself from the physical fucking matter. I mean, I do get it. I'm not saying you fucking robots and shit, but the more you understand that, you know what I'm saying? Like when my dad passed, like, okay, nigga, all right. In fact, and I've been talking to the nigga any fucking way. So shit, it's a celebration, nigga. You know what I'm saying? It's truly a celebration. But what I'm trying to say to you is, not only that I turned the other cheek, but being born again, it's not about negation. It's not about, okay, I used to eat, I used to fuck, I don't fuck anymore. All of that is cool. It could be part of you changing, that's fine. But the bottom line is, you're not talking about the new element that you've become. You've become born again. So, which means you're no longer of the flesh. These niggas are telling you the shit. That's James. No longer of the flesh, which means you're not thinking intellectually anymore. Or you're not thinking with your ego. But now you're looking at things on a spiritual plane. You're looking at particles now, energies now. Before you used to looking at the shit as, you know, as this mass element shit. And a lot of people that go to the church, and of course, they're saying that they change and everything, but they're still looking at it as intellectually. Which is going to take me to the next shit that I'm going to be talking about here, right? So with the whole New Age shit, that shit is fake. It doesn't work. It's what Jesus would refer in the Bible as thieves. They're the thieves. The church too, by the way. I mean, it's all the same shit. The church, religion, and New Age is all the same shit, by the way. The only difference is the way they go about it. Do you see what I'm saying? It's just the way they go about it. But essentially, it's the same shit. Because it's not really talking about true transformation. You see what I'm saying? So true transformation happens when, well, I was going to say you're being born again, but you know, but essentially what the New Age is doing, they're using a couple of spiritual shit, and they're trying to embellish it, which is very synonymous to. There's a parable that Jesus used, right? So he talked about, you know, using a new garment. Now, I can't recall exactly how it went, but essentially what the motherfucker is talking about is you can't be your old self trying to do new things. You see what I'm saying? Like, and also there was another parable on the wineskin shit. You know, essentially it's like if I have this clothes here, right? and it has a hole in it. I wouldn't be buying a new shirt and take out that piece of cloth from the new shirt and patch it into this old shirt. It wouldn't make sense. If this shit is ripped, I'm just gonna throw that shit away. The new one that I'm gonna get, it's gonna be just a new shirt. So it's another way of saying the law of attraction. You can't be the same fucker that you are, vibing on the same frequency and thinking that new or positive thinking is gonna change your life. like, nah, no. You gotta go in the roots. You gotta throw all that shit away. And this is what the law of attraction is not telling you, and that's what makes it fake. Those are the thieves, man. And I even think, I mean, I'm not sure if that's what Brother Panic was referring to, but he said something about instead of you acting like a side hoe, dog. Yo, this nigga's funny as fuck. Check him out. Brother Panic. You know what I'm saying? Do all that YouTube that nigga. That nigga's funny as fuck, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you a side hoe. You know what I'm saying? You need to become the hoe, like the real wife, instead of being a side hoe, man. That's what a side hoe is. You know, how do you use old information, you try to use new information when you have not changed yourself? It's not going to work. It doesn't make sense. See, that's what I'm saying. Don't be stuck on the bullshit about fuck the Bible shit. No, nigga, learn from everything. Embrace everything. And again, the thing with the Bible is you gotta look at it spiritually. If you're looking at it on a physical plane, RIP, nigga. That's just the way it works. So the New Age is teaching you how to be a side hoe, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? You know, you need to go through the essence. Become the real bitch, if I could put it this way, for lack of better terms. Check out this nigga though. Funny as fuck. You know what I'm saying? So that's why the law of attraction doesn't work. Even when you're referring to willpower and all that shit, it depends on the level that you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, it depends on how much light you have inside of you. And that's going to determine your will to power. Even in your attitude too. Depending on where you at. Because I remember, we all went to that being a fucking knucklehead and shit. You know, like I used to race, you know, my cars and doing dumb shit like that. If some motherfucker were trying to get in front of me, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, I was always in a fucking hurry. I mean, not always, but for the most part. You know what I'm saying? I would have, not now, later, it's out. Because I'm in a different state of mind. So even when you talk about destiny too, all of that shit, it has to deal with how you align yourself, the frequency that you're in. That's going to determine your action or your willpower. All of that shit. But anyway, let's get back to the fucking New Age shit. So that's what I'm talking about. And that's just one fucking example. So that's why this shit is fake. And it's just like the fucking Bible shit. For lack of a better term, again. In the sense of the way the religion is looking at it. And the true meaning of religion, too, you got to understand. You got to get into religion if you understand what the word means. You know, it has different definitions. Doing something religiously, referring to a ritual, something you do on a consistent basis. But the true meaning of the word religion itself means to reunite, to reconnect. So this is us coming to earth, being stripped away, because as you're coming into this 3D dimension, that's how you lose your power, for lack of better terms. You become more dense. So you become less and less and less and less spiritual. So now as you become on this earth, which is also the mythology of Inanna, you might definitely check that shit out. So what we're doing here, as we're recollecting our thoughts, our energy, We're raising our frequency. So you went from being a high spiritual to Satan, to this density. There's just different ways of saying it. So you were stripped of your powers, which is your true self, the Christ. And then now on earth, you're reconnecting. So you got to go in religion for you to reconnect, to reunite. And now you're growing, you're raising your vibration again to ascend. That's what the shit is, as simple as that. Well, I mean, I made it simple, but, you know, but that's the understanding that you got to go through. You know, you're searching for yourself, through this fucking Bible, all the shit that you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And there's no limitation. Don't go from one extremity to another one. That's replacing one demon by another demon. Just like, perfect example, I've been hearing some niggas talking about fuck Earth and all that shit. It's not about that, motherfucker. It's not about that. Because now you're replacing, but I understand, like Brother Connie talks about that too, but I understand where he's coming from. Because he's trying to create that difference for you to understand. So he's pretty much, because when we talk about duality, you're talking about the same thing, but it's important to have that, to set it apart so you can put it together. And that's part of understanding it. And that's the purpose of the ego too. It's kind of like for you to understand that you are, I'm not you, you're not me, for me to understand. And as I understand, or as I'm understanding, guess what? We're all the same. You are reuniting. So that's why the purpose on earth is for you to learn or save others, if you will. But by saving others, really, you know, them saving themselves, because you can't really save nobody. See, you got to understand, Jesus died for us, right? Here's another thing that people don't, like, I died for you, motherfucker. So I could bring that information to you. Now you don't have to die, you know what I'm saying, anymore, or at least not the way that I was dead. And all of the ancestors ever done was that. Every spiritual teacher that passed on that knowledge to us died for us to give us this knowledge. Not in a physical form, but dying by some of the shit that they had to go through, the fucking dedication they had to put in. So now us, you know what I'm saying, now I don't, you know, now I can listen to Brother Panic or Bobby Hammett and get the shit. Of course, I'm still gonna have to put my work in, and obviously, you know what I'm saying? Because nobody's gonna save you. But the ideology in people dying for you, that's what it means. Better yet, I'll give it to you even better. The whole fucking quantum physics now is talking about some shit. I can't recall, was it entanglement? I don't know. I can't recall the terminology for it. But what they were doing is, what they were saying is, and if you remember that, I don't, there's a term for it that I don't remember. But essentially, this is what they were saying. They had a group of birds that was doing something over here, right? And then as they got to know how to do it better, there was another type of that same bird that was in somewhere else. Now, who learned was doing the same shit that these motherfuckers were doing without being in contact with them. So in other words, by me doing the work that I'm doing and me not even knowing somebody else, could be another Haitian motherfucker or another brother, however the fuck you want to put it, that's benefiting from that. So just to show you the connection in all of us. And that's simply what the shit dying for you is. But you're still gonna have to put the work in them. You know what I'm saying? Because those birds, right, that was in that separate location, even though they didn't went through what these, but they still had to go, they got the lesson, they were actually applying it. And that's what going through it is. You gotta apply it. So I'm not gonna be too much, you know what I'm saying? I think I'll digress a little bit, but there are so many different levels. Like it's almost impossible to just talk about one thing only because it's related to so many other dimensions. Do you see what I'm saying? So, but if you want to have fun though, like I did last night, oh my God, I was just on my shit. Check out all the videos, you'll see these niggas, they don't tell you what happened or how it got to be there. But they're using the same terminology. Almost I'm saying to myself, yeah, that could be a new movement too. Niggas out having fun. You know what I'm saying? So they're looking to save you, dog. But anyway, so yeah, that's all I have to say about the new age. Let me see if there was something I was thinking about. If I didn't mention anything here. Um, I guess not. And if it comes to me sometimes, I'll be done with this and I'm like, oh, I didn't say this. I didn't say that. But hey, that's part of it. Maybe I should start writing shit down too. Who knows? But you know what I'm saying? But I was feeling like just freestyling today, man. You know what I'm saying? After watching that shit last night, I'm like, but the new age been on my mind for a little bit of time. You know what I'm saying? Just for a little bit because I get to discover what the fuck it was about. You know what I'm saying? Even when they talk about the law of attraction, the secret and all that shit's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? There's a couple gems in it, you know what I'm saying, to make it smell good, but underneath it all, it's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? No matter how you want to dress a pig, it's gonna be a pig, my nigga. It's gonna be a pig. You know, and that's pretty much what the new age is because it's not referring to true information. It's wording. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people they're just saying shit, but not living shit. Whereas the purpose of spirituality or the occult, however you want to put it, you know, it's to become it, to actualize it. You don't, the only way to actualize it is by becoming it, making it part of your reality. That's why you have all of this fucking, people don't understand. When you have, let's say, those statues that you have, all of these things, it's not, this is not where the fucking entity is. When you have a Baphomet statue, when you have whatever statue you have, the purpose, you are actualizing that. You're making it visible. You're making it part of your reality. That's why you got to do it. That's why when I wear this shit, I'm making it part of my reality. I don't know if you can see that shit. It scars me. I was always attracted to that shit. It's the opposite. You see what I'm saying? You want to live, you got to die. You got to die to live. Egotistically, you got to die. Not being afraid, you got to die. Because really think about it. And this is the whole purpose of the Buddha talking about suffering and death, or the Gnostic talking about death or suffering. Because you're going to die. Not to scare you away, but for you to acknowledge something else. Okay, if I come on earth knowing that I'm going to die, so what the fuck's my purpose here? So it's the journey to turn you inward, to give you a higher consciousness here. But it's not for you to be afraid of death or to be afraid of suffering, but it's for you to acknowledge it, to be like, oh, okay, there has to be something else. But unfortunately, what happened is we got distracted. You get into politics, you get into all this shit, forgetting your true essence, the real reason why you're here. So, in so many ways, what the New Age is doing, and this is fake, and I call it the thieves, just like Jesus called it in the Bible, niggas. It's pretty much because it's, you know, it's just another way of you hustling now. It's just a different type of hustle. But nigga, you still hustling. Do you see what I'm saying? And it doesn't mean, of course, Give the Caesar what belongs to Caesar and the God what belongs to God. Like, of course, there's gonna be some work that has to be done. I'm not telling you not to quit your job, motherfuckers. I'm not, but the attachment, that's what we're talking about. So again, the new age is telling you it's kind of like it's like I felt like I was listening to Les Brown, um, Tony Robbins. That's what the self-help becomes, or the new age. Now, keep in mind, all of this shit is good, but it's where are you taking it to? What's the purpose of doing it? The purpose should always be for you to have a greater awareness, for you to understand who you are, knowing that you are a traveler here. That's what the whole purpose is. But I'm not saying there's no truth in what they're saying, but it's like when you listen to like guys like Tony Robbins, Les Brown, whoever else, or Napoleon Hill, there's a lot of gems in it. You want to be rich? Well, think like a rich people, like the way rich people think. That's dope. But what this is not also telling you is this is where you see what I'm saying? It stays there in the material shit. But what that say about you? If you in other words, what they're telling you is you got to get on that vibration. You got to get on that frequency for you to attain some of the things that you want to fucking accomplish. But your accomplishment, if you understand that you're gonna die, not to be scared of it, but that should tell you have a higher purpose. And that's what I'm talking about here. So they're pretty much trying to imitate the real. And what I'm trying to tell you is to be the real shit. This is not telling you, nigga, not to go for your dreams, not to get money, nigga, by all means. And in fact, shit, like doors will open up for you like even fucking crazy. Look at the fucking tarot readers. These motherfuckers are doing good. They're not suffering. I mean, not for me to be counting on people's money and shit, but check out the fucking spiritual, businesses that are happening here. And I'm not saying it shouldn't be a business because that's what the currency is. We got to exchange. That's like you saying for me to do like free consultation. But I'm giving you something, motherfucker. Don't you go to school? Don't you pay to go to school? It's just a fucking exchange. Now, the only difference is what school is claiming to give you, what this spirituality or what you're exchanging with any type of spiritual teacher, it's worth way more than that. Not even your money can even pay for that shit. But being in this plane, we need the currency, you're exchanging it. That's why your talent is your money. Why do you think your talent is your money? You want to put your own money? Just follow your talent. Follow your bliss. And just to show you too, money is fucking illusion too. Because you can't just chase the money and not having any, what are you giving? To give is to receive. Do you see what I'm saying? So in so many different ways, essentially this is what it comes down to. The new age is an imitation of the real shit. You don't want to be a thief. You don't want to be a side hoe, like my nigga said. You know what I'm saying? You want to be the shit. You want to be the hoe, nigga. If there's going to be a second hoe, like is there going to be a second wife? Well, nigga, that's exactly what you're going to be, the second wife. Don't be a side hoe, niggas. They should have been, fucking the title of this. Don't be a side hoe. Just be the main hoe. You see what I'm saying? So the new age is pretty much using all of this shit, the spirituality, sprinkle that shit on there, And you know what I'm saying? But essentially, it's talking about, this physical plane, the life. Whereas I'm not saying fuck Earth, but what I'm saying is you have to transcend it. Because here's something else too, and that could be a little too much for you motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Earth, illusion doesn't mean it's not real. Understand that. Maya, it's an illusion. Doesn't mean it's not real. It's two different words. Illusion simply means your perception of what it is. That's not what it is. And that's why a lot of the ancestors or the ancient ones, the Egyptians and all of that, that all use nature to teach us something, or they all learn from nature. You got to understand this. Illusion, doesn't mean it's not real, but it means the perception, your perception of it, it's not what it is. So when you're looking at form, because that's essentially what it is, and that's how the Tibetan describe it, and I feel like it's the closest thing to it is form, because we're talking about density here, right? But now you get to see the spirit in it, the way it moves, nature. So in nature, you see God, because what you're seeing is the movement, the teaching, the wind, all of that, and that's what's happening in your body. When you're moving, when you're thinking, when you're acting, when you're fucking, it's the spirit moving inside of forms. When you're understanding things, when you're traveling in your mind, you used to be in this level, you change. You ever went, like when you change, yeah, you're changing in your body, you moving inside of forms. Now, when your spirit no longer want to be part of this form, you die, nigga. That's what dying is. So that's why it's a fucking illusion, even to say fuck Earth. That's replacing, because Earth is doing its purpose. You came here, you're gonna die. Again, for you to go inward. Nature's teaching you about God in a sense of not for you to be attached to it, but for you to go inside of you. The inner knowledge. And that's what the Gnostic is talking about. That's what the motherfucking Buddha is talking about. That's what Jesus is talking about. The kingdom of God is within. They're telling you to go inside, to go in. In voodoo, that's what they're talking about, the mystique. The word voodoo, introspection into the mystique, referring to what you don't see, the mystery. You get into it, you get inside of you. Dealing with the ancestors and all these things is to deal inside of you. They reside in you. You have to become that. That's how you actualize it. Don't be a side hoe, nigga. Don't do it to yourself, dog. Raise your frequency. So the New Age is not really teaching you on how to be you, but giving you a couple of spiritual shit for this life. Do you see what I'm saying? Napoleon Hill teaching you all of these things. There's nothing wrong with it, again, but it's limited. For you to just become rich. So you becoming on Earth as a traveler, your life pretty much is to what? What are you building here? It's not for you to become stationary, and even if you wanted to, you can't, because we're all travelers by nature. Don't be lost in the sauce. And here's another one that I wanted to talk about too, how as actually came into my mind. The whole sheep analogy. Niggas don't get it. Again, if you're looking at it physically, you are not going to get it. Jesus, the spirit, consciousness being the shepherd. And that's all every spiritual people or person is a sheep to the spirit, because the spirit is guiding us. I'm just a witness, nigga. You know what I'm saying? And that's my testimony. I'm just a witness. I'm witnessing the Spirit doing His work in me. How my man Jay said, we are vessels. The wind blows through us, whistles. The wind is blowing through you. One way or another, the only difference with a spiritual person is that the whole purpose of you doing the meditation, the whole purpose of you doing whatever the fuck that you're doing is for you to remove yourself to let the Spirit guide you. That's how you become one with it. And that's how you're moving on divine timing. It's a higher frequency. Oh, I love that shit. Can you feel it though? That's how you move on that frequency, man. You know, that's how your words become power. When you align with the Spirit like that, when you remove yourself, just different ways of saying the same motherfucking shit. Or when you connect it to it. I'm just a witness, dog. I guess I'm God's witness, Jehovah's witness. You see what I'm saying? You use it however the fuck you want to use it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm so motherfucking mean with it. Like, I don't give a fuck about these niggas' definition. I'm a gold digger, nigga. Because I'm looking for values. And wherever you claim to be a gold digger, if you're looking for money, you ain't digging gold, man. What you doing? You're not fucking with the Spirit. What are you digging? Remember, this is a fucking illusion. What else you want me to say, niggas? You know what I'm saying? I'm sip on my shit, niggas. You know what I'm saying? So essentially, this is what it comes down to. So that's what I wanted to talk about the New Age. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to waste too much time here because I could talk about so many different ways and go into so many different things. But just to keep this aligned here, the New Age, that's what makes it fake. You know, because it's not telling you, essentially, it's not anything that's not on you. It's how can it benefit you? You know what I'm saying? And you know, and that's pretty much what it is, man. And stop being a side hoe, man. I see it, mid deal.